Florida is now the new de facto capital of the United States of America. On the ground, the rest of the world is watching what's happening, and a reality is beginning to emerge that they cannot deny. There is only one place for leadership. There is only one of the major states that is actually making progress and leading, and that's the state of Florida. While technically in what they call de jure law, it still technically resides up in D.C. Nobody is following these failed men anymore. A complete and total abdication of leadership and responsibility from these four individuals. Gavin Newsom from California, currently under recall. A total failure of a political system, a society, an economy, well documented. Andrew Cuomo, well documented. Criminal activity to cover up the reality of what happened last spring. Even his own people on the left are wanting him gone. And sadly, on the right, Governor Abbott has clearly dropped the ball and let the power grid in Texas become something that is more akin to a Soviet-era gulag than anything else. Whatever the reasons, it was his duty to stop this from happening. And then, of course, bottom center, we have the man that currently resides in the West Wing of failed D.C., having his early bedtimes and cozy fires. A complete and total abdication of leadership in a time of crisis. I'm going to give you guys a link to the Speak Project, From De Facto to De Jure Handbook for the Restoration of the Peaceful Sovereign States of America. If it's going to happen for your state, it's going to get fixed at your governor's mansion, and that's where it's going to have to end. Because there is no leadership from D.C. anymore. New York has failed, California has failed, Texas is in the process of it. A de jure government, let me see if I can zoom out here, is the legal, legitimate government of a state and is so recognized by other states. In contrast, a de facto government is in actual possession of authority and control of the state. Now, while Florida hasn't overthrown anything, people are gravitating here faster than we can build houses. Literally running out of the ability to build houses fast enough for the amount of people that are fleeing into our state. It's only going to be now a matter of time before the world steps up and says, who do we deal with? Who do we actually speak to? I mean, yes, of course, we know Washington, D.C. is always there, but do they really have control? Look at what's happening. Look at the state of collapse over almost the entire northern region. D.C., New York, Philly, Pittsburgh, Wilmington, Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, all wastelands. California, once one of the most thriving and successful places, beautiful places, is now reduced to homeless camps as far as the eye can see. Yet here in Florida, we thrive. And we're growing. Even people from New York, and we covered this in another video, a couple videos ago, say it's like coming to another world, like it's coming to a parallel universe. Some of the waiters and waitresses are like, it's almost like a jailbreak. We've escaped the North. See, that's the de facto part of this. That's what's happening in reality. Pray for the people of Texas. Lift them up. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers, of course. But you have to, and there's a question no one's asking, and they should be asking. D.C. has said for a long time the issues with the border are a federal issue, and that's true to some extent. Well, wait a minute. If that's the case, why did D.C. allow Texas's power grid to fail? Isn't that a matter of national security? This huge border from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to New Mexico up here? Wouldn't it be a matter of national security to make sure that this was functioning and that you would need power and you would need the well-functioning and well-maintaining of the state to do that? What about the ports? What about the refineries all along the Gulf Coast? Is that not part of national security? What about the military bases? Is that not part of national security? Why did D.C., if they were truly in charge, allow Texas to fail? You see, they're not. They don't have the ability. Florida, by contrast, has been hit by 2 Category 5 hurricanes in the last 7 years. No long-term effects. And many other major hurricanes every year, over and over and over again. We get hit by these catastrophic storms all the time. Power poles get knocked down, we pick them back up. They get knocked down again, we pick them back up again. Houses get damaged, we rebuild them. And we're wealthier now than we were 10 years ago. How is that possible? In reality, leadership. Good ideas are good ideas regardless of who thinks of them. Our entire Supreme Court are Federalists. There's not one moderate, there's not one liberal. They are as far to the right as you could possibly be. Our state Senate, our state representatives, it's not even close. The Democrats don't even try. And now we have a good conservative governor, and now we have leadership. And we make the right decisions. Sometimes those decisions require us spending money that people are, uncomfortable with. They think that's too much for government, but look at the reality of it. It doesn't matter how many hurricanes hit Florida. We had Matthew, Category 5, 35 miles off the coast. Ripped up the entire east side of Florida. Technically doesn't count as a quote-unquote Florida hurricane because it didn't make landfall here, but it did millions and millions of dollars in damage. You wouldn't know it was ever here. And that was in 16? 4 years ago? Michael, Category 5. Most damaging hurricane since Andrew in 92. Slammed into Mexico Beach. You can go drive through the Panhandle. It's beautiful. Everything's open. That was only a couple years ago. Maybe not even a couple. Almost 2. Not last year, but the year before. Storms are part of life, and if you're a big state and you want to lead, you better have a plan. Clearly they didn't. Clearly California doesn't want to lead. Clearly New York doesn't want to lead. Clearly Texas has abdicated its ability to. And D.C. is just a sad joke to pretty much everyone in the world right now. So that leaves one place. It leaves one place, and that's us, for better or for worse. I would ask for your prayers as well. Pray, of course, for the people of Texas. They need it far more than we do. But in reality, the entire world is going to be looking to Tallahassee. to set the standard for what America is going to be going forward. And I don't think that's an overstatement. I truly don't. Like, share, subscribe.